Okay, so I do see it says prepare to leave White Orchard with Vesemir. And so that would presumably mean flat out abandoning everything around here. And there certainly are other things that we have not yet explored around here. There was a few bandit camps that, or at least one bandit camp, that seemed like it was too powerful for us to try to take on initially. That comes to mind. Certainly many question marks that we did not even investigate. So we don't really know as to whether those are doable or if we would need to power ourselves up a little bit before doing those things, or at least attempting those things. So I'm a little hesitant to try to do that right now. Because I feel like, you know, I am not sure. There's a chance that we will always have the option of coming back here. But there's also a chance that this might be our last opportunity to do anything in this location. Because if we have the opportunity to come back here, then you could say, like, okay, well, maybe at some other lull, we could choose to investigate these other question marks and see what they're all about. But if that will not be an option, then that suggests that perhaps we ought to do that type of exploration now. So there's certainly, over here on the east side, lots of stuff that we have not yet seen. I feel like that undiscovered location right there, which granted we were rather close to before we started heading back into town, is probably just some underground, or underwater, I should say, loot. That probably is pretty straightforward to pick up. So that's maybe a little bit of an opportunity there. We've not checked out these question marks, of course. This is the camp that we tried to explore earlier, but then got chased off when we saw that they were, I think, level 5? Now we are still level 3? Yeah, we're still level 3. We have more experience, we're closer to level 4. But it does seem like, you know, I don't know if you always get a little bit of life and a little bit of damage every time you level up. Like, that might be the case. In which case, every time you level, you know that you're going to get a little bit stronger for sure, in addition to whatever you choose to invest in with your skill point.
Hey there.
However, if it's just your skill point, then that does kind of feel like, you know, it's not a huge difference from level to level in that case. We were fighting some level 5 wolves and wargs not long ago, and as we were saying, things were looking pretty fine. So I'm tempted to try to do a little further exploration there. Now, there's a chance that Vesemir will say, oh, are you sure you want to leave now? Kind of like what he did when we were talking about the Griffin. But I feel like this might be, at the very least, a good chance for us to... I want to check out that camp.
Come on, Roach.
See if we're in better shape to try to take it out at this point. So, I believe it is, what, over on the other side of the river. It might not be too far from here. So, now that we are on the other side of the river, let's take a quick peek here. Oh, it's actually... Yeah, we would continue down this main path.
Hey there.
It is sort of on a different island. So it could very well be that this camp is not terribly notable, it just has some enemies in it. Presumably there will be some loot. As for how significant said loot will be, I, of course, don't know. Pretty sure it's over here, though. Over into the woods in this direction. We should probably drop a save, given how they nearly killed us the first time we tried to fight them. Do we have any healing items? We do. We don't have our Thunderbolt for the extra damage, but I think we should be fine there. We have our axe, which supposedly is pretty strong. Let me just verify that we are, in fact, headed into the right area of woods. We are. Okay. I believe there was a bowman as well. So, we perhaps sense them not from this distance. I'm thinking we could very well find Quen sign useful. Trying to get a sense as for when we'll be within range of these dudes. Obviously, there's the deer. And there's mushrooms! Don't get distracted by the mushrooms. I got distracted by the mushrooms. Oh. Let's check the map. I'm easing forward. And maybe... Yeah, I'm actually facing the wrong direction. Should we turn to our right more? Now I'm also second-guessing myself. Yeah, I'm going in the opposite direction here. This way. Kinda, sorta. Yeah, now we see them. That's, potentially useful, yes. Use the crossbow. But, I was actually thinking of doing this. Ow! Well, there goes the sign. I would like to perhaps draw my weapon. I thought I had out, but apparently did not have out. And one down. And that's the leader, who is the level 5 dude. Who is almost dead, who is dead. Okay. Now you appear to be weak. You are the archer dude who hit us from point blank. Thank you very much. We did one-shot you, which is pretty cool. Okay. Bandits taken care of. Not so bad. The leader dude did, I think, stun us with a hit. I'm pretty sure that's what happened last time as well. When we ran into them. You have a dumpling? Okay, that was a little alarming. I think that was just Geralt sheathing his weapon to loot some stuff. Outer pearl. More leather pelts. Emerald dust sounds good. Longsword recipe. NIGREDO, I think, is a potion. I recognize that name. It does seem like some of that stuff may be of long-term value to us. Oak platter. Assuming that's just a junk item. Oh, that's the sound of us looting a weapon. Okay, that's what the alarming sound was. Okay. Headed in the right direction? No, probably not. Because apparently I just have no sense of direction in these forests. Yeah, we're headed for the middle of nowhere right now. Is there a north? Oh, there is a north that shows up on the mini-map. And I mean mini-map now, not the actual major map. So that is very helpful, I think.
Go.
Okay, but now to open the full map, and I mean that this time, are there other question marks in this area that we ought to discover, ought to investigate? Perhaps there is this monster nest, and I don't remember what kind of monster nest we're talking about here, but based on how we found what seemed to be some pretty good stuff in that previous bandit camp, at least with regard to those crafting formulas, seems like this is not a bad idea to make sure that we are clearing out some of this additional stuff. So I believe we're looking at roughly where the road starts to fork. Would be right around now.
Slow.
And then, yeah, off into the woods from here. Kinda sorta overshot it a bit. But I think we should be fine. We are, of course, still regenerating a little bit of HP here.
Come on. Not so fast, Roach.
Let's see. Sense? Any bad guys? None. Thus far, but now we certainly do. Pretty sure those are going to be drowners. based on the sound effect and based on the location where we currently are, right next to the water. Let's see. We could eat one of our apples here. Let's do that. Get ourselves a little bit of extra HP. Yeah, the sound effects certainly sound drownery. Doesn't seem human. There are several of them. Yeah, there's a lot of them, actually. That is kind of concerning. Down below. Are any enemies over here? Yes, there are as well. Yeah, I was gonna say, let's loop around, go fight them, but that is perhaps a little easier said than done. Might we be able to beam them up with a crossbow? We have infinite arrows with the crossbow, or bolts, I should say. That sounds rather good. I'm pretty sure we missed. And again, let's hit him in the butt. Oh, he ran away. Did we hit you there? We might have. It's kind of hard to tell. There's not a lot of feedback. Let's see if we're actually dealing damage right now. I also don't know if we're actually shooting right at that reticle or if there's any sort of bolt drop. So I am seeing something. Seems to suggest that it's sinking a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I'm just whiffing on all of these. I think we hit one of them at one point, but I saw the life bar like not move at all, which is very encouraging, and by encouraging I mean discouraging. Yeah, 17 damage, which comparatively speaking I think we do an order of magnitude more than that when we swing our sword at these guys, so like, yeah, this is possible, certainly, but definitely not efficient, if that's the question. It also helps to hit them, generally speaking, which we've not done a lot of, but in my defense, I am rather obscured. My vision is rather obscured. Could we perhaps snipe them from here? Do we have an angle? Just too far? Ooh. Saw you. Are you the same drowning? I think you are. Excuse me, sir. Please pop back up. I think the best way... Oh. The best way to fight this guy and get down there is probably go this way. If this is not a deadly cliff. Because... Ooh, that's a bee's nest. That is still a cliff. And how the heck do we get down there? Besides looping around in the direction that I don't particularly want to loop around? Not sure there is an answer. Or at least not a good answer. Okay. So let's press onward then. After having dealt the tiniest bit of damage.
So, we'll look for Bastion later once it's safe.
It's a human. Is it an adversarial or a peaceful human? I don't know, dude, but you got lots of monsters over here. That's a Temerian symbol.
Do that often? Talk to your dog?
It's my brother's, Bastion's, but guess he's mine now.
It doesn't sound good.
Bastion fought the Black Ones in a battle just outside the village. Haven't had word of him since. I told him, do like I did, lose a finger or two so they won't recruit you. Too damn afeard he was. Bloody hell.
Pretty sure we've heard of him, actually, this Bastion. I think we were supposed to track him down at some
I'd
point.
walk the battlefield if I were you.
I did. Sea of corpses. And corpsers feeding. Someone told me they were feared of fire, so I took a torch, tried to chase them off. Horse shite, I tell you. Would have ended up eaten alive if it weren't for Hussar here. Listen, guessing you carry those swords for more than show. Come with me, keep the ghouls off. Help me find Bastion and I'll pay you well.
It does sound Like a good deal.
Fine, I'll help you. Just been a few days since the battle. Chances we find your brother alive are slim. Very slim.
Who would have thought? But I want to find his body at least. So Bastion don't rot there in the sun with the black ones. Meet me on the hill overlooking the battlefield. We'll move on together from there.
Okay. That sounds cool. I don't know where specifically said battlefield is. So I'm thinking, it's probably in that direction that you're currently running. But maybe this is an opportunity to fight some of the many drowners that are hanging out over here. And, whoa, there's a lot of corpses over there. That's a level 3 drowner. Most of the time we've been seeing level 4 drowners. But there's a much better angle to hit these guys. See, it's a lot easier when you can actually, see them. Oh, so I was calling you a level 3 drowner before, and now suddenly you're level 4? And granted, you're running in circles, which is making this a little bit harder to hit you. So that stuff I was saying before about being able to actually have half-decent aim is, making me look a little not so great at the moment. But in my defense, have you seen what this guy is doing? It's a little bit tougher to hit him when he is walking around like a madman. Kind of trying to shoot in the middle of his circles, but that is also easier said than done. Both from a timing and general aiming perspective. Also, FPSs are hard, okay? Technically this would be a third-person shooter, but you know what I mean. Even now, after having gotten several hits in, still feels like this is pretty insignificant damage-wise. So it just makes me wonder what the heck Vesemir was thinking when he was suggesting to us earlier that we try to attack the Griffin with this thing. Can you imagine how insignificant that damage would have been? Here we are trying to fight a drowner with this stuff. And then the Griffin would have had way more HP than this, of course. And yet, Vesemir was like, oh yeah, sure, give it a shot. It's definitely gonna work, right? Okay, we're on a roll here. Which means I'm sure that we just jinxed it. See, when he stands relatively still, it is possible to take him down from here. Kinda, sorta. The hits are starting to rack up a little bit. Got a little clever there, trying to perhaps hit him with a headshot. Maybe a little ill-advised. There we go. Got a kill with 100% crossbow. Yeah, so how are we actually supposed to go down there? Like, is that technically a way to scale that? Guarded treasure. Oh, this is considered guarded treasure. I didn't think I saw it on the minimap. Can we hit you from here? We can. Kinda, sorta. Again, can't really see you terribly well, but we are a little bit closer, making this angle potentially a little bit easier. And if we just basically quick draw this thing, then it seems as though that does not give you much opportunity to, well, move. And then I tried to get clever and aim for the head, and then you did move. And then not so easy to hit anymore. He's like, what? What? You trying to shoot me, bro? Trying to shoot me in the face? Well, yeah, kinda. Get at me. Well, if you would stand still, it would make this a little bit easier. Or if you would perhaps direct me as to the location at which I would be able to perhaps go down there and fight you in the melees. Okay, that was clearly a bad idea. I was trying to do a quick shot for the head, which again, didn't turn out so well. Now, come on. Which direction are you gonna go, buddy? Sometimes you're doing your circles to one end, sometimes you're doing them to the other. Making it a little typical to guess. I kind of just wish you were back to standing still, where you were earlier. Oh, okay. I feel like I did not see you before, but you're here now. And I will proceed to try to do what I just said we ought to have done with this guy. And that is just shoot you many times in a row. And hope that you stand still, rather than do precisely what you're doing right now, which is do what your old friend was doing. And make life difficult for me. I don't even think that we're necessarily dealing more damage if we hit them in the face. You know, not that I'm making much of a habit of doing that, but there are probably a few times when we would have landed a headshot, and it's not like it seems as though we're doing any bonus damage if and when that happens. Granted, as I was saying before, it is a little bit difficult at times to know how much damage we're actually dealing here, because, like, on that occasion, it appears as though we got a hit, and yet we didn't see any numbers fly up, or sometimes they do fly up, and it's so brief that we don't really get the chance to read what the number is. It seems like most of the time it's 17. That's sort of your standard amount of damage. Seemingly. Occasionally, I think we have gotten a little bit higher than that. Maybe some 16s thrown in here and there as well. I also have no idea, are we getting experience when we kill people with this crossbow? Are we not? Maybe it's like, hey, you cheese this, so no. I really wish we would be right now. Like, at all. They're going fairly slowly. Does seem as oh, there's at least one more remaining. Who appears to perhaps maybe be underwater, because its health bar is not next to any body at the moment. So I'm gonna try finding a way down there. Ooh. There are more people here, and doesn't look so great in this location. Oh, never mind. It's a bard. Thought other... Well, I mean, yeah, this is mostly what I was reacting to, I suppose. That doesn't look great. Okay, so presumably we could loot stuff in here. I know we did, of course, get some guards mad at us for looting things directly in town earlier. I don't believe there are any guards in this location. We are on the outskirts, slash technically not even in town directly. So for that reason, we should be in the clear. Ooh, white wolf hide. That was, I believe, the type of pelt that was most valuable when we tried selling some things to the vendor earlier. Yes, we did also just walk on that little girl's head. She was standing in our way. What can I say? Can we get through here? Nope. Perhaps can we get into any of these other areas for... Ooh, good loot. That looks nice. What's up, Peach? How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. How are you? We're just messing around a little bit. Looting some stuffs. Oh, that doesn't look good, though. Yeah! Where did that come from? Anybody care to explain why there is a dead guy in here? We do this. Ooh, another white wolf hide. Is worth a fair bit if we sell it. Okay. That might be all the houses here. Didn't seem like any of these people had additional things to say to us. I'm gonna try going down here. If we can find a place that is not a cliff. And use that. Can read. Oh dear, we can read this. Also, the bones move in the wind. Fantastic. Burying the bodies of hanged deserters and rebels is hereby strictly forbidden. Anyone caught trying to cut down hanged corpses will be summarily executed. Temeria. Temeria is saying that? I was expecting... Okay, yeah, well, that was maybe a little unpleasant, zooming in like that. I was expecting that to be the Nilfgaardians. Is this our way down the cliff area? seems like it could potentially be. Okay, so there were some drowners over here. A ways down the coast. They were supposedly guarding some loot. See that our health bar is currently going up, which suggests to me that there are probably enemies around here. I do not yet see said drowners. Oh, there's red dots up there. Doesn't look good. Here's our drowner friend. Come out, wherever you are. You do have some loot here guarding the door. Ow. How dare you? I can just slice you in half real quick. Okay. Let's check the edge of this coastline. Because, yeah. Oh, there are certainly more drowners. These are level 4. The one that we just fought was level 3. So technically speaking, this one is stronger. Oh, that's awesome. Sure, we'll just shoot a random crossbow bolt while we're at it. Well, miss on our first swing. Whoa! We took a ton of damage there. We are actually very low at the moment. When did that happen? Let's get a quick heal in. Oh, one moment. Maybe we'll hold off fighting those guys for just a second. Why did we take that damage? Did we take all that from that one hit? If so, then that is a really freaking strong drowner. Couldn't have been. I heal up even more. Use much of our food. In the interest of fighting this guy. Who I did not expect to deal that much hurt. And we'll shoot a little crossbow bolt at one of you, as we can. And apparently you will not try to fight back. So yeah, I mean, if we can get a little bit of damage in, then great. Alright. Well, took that one out. It's the one that we hit earlier. Oh, whoa, we are in bad shape again. But once again, we are running, and it is chasing us. Make no mistake. Okay. We have a little bit of time to heal there. Yeah, they are dealing so much damage. Did we do something? Make ourselves take more damage? Did we downgrade our armor? Or are these guys just more powerful in this area or something? We were fighting drowners before, and they didn't seem to be doing that much damage to us. So I'm a little confused. So we will actually use the vast majority of our food here. Which I'm not terribly happy about. Not even necessarily sure that we have to fight these drowners here, because I'm pretty sure that the loot that they are guarding is over there. We really only needed to get these other guys, that area. But let's throw the Quen sign on. At least get that going again. And we'll try pepper in this guy from a distance. Some crossbow bolts, perhaps getting a tiny bit of extra damage on him from a distance here. As for whether that'll actually make a difference, remains to be seen. Each individual shot does not do a lot, but get multiple of these in there, and it seems like it might start to add up a little bit. Okay, well, if you bury into the sand like that, then it does start to get difficult to hit you. However, if you stand still and allow me to wail away at you, that is certainly preferable, because now you are definitely one sword swing away from death, and just one crossbow bolt away from death as well, it would appear. If I could hit you, you could, like, stand still, perhaps. There we go! Maybe the crossbow bolts actually were the way to go all along. Granted, it appears as though it may be that enemies do not drop loot when you kill them with the crossbow bolts. I'm not sure, because those guys did not drop any. Is that a coincidence? Is that always the case? Hard to say. Such a small sample size. bridge. Oh, yes, there's some coinage. More white wool pies. Oh, so valuable empty bottles. Quicksilver solution. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds helpful. Okay, I think that's the end of this area here. Let's go to the actual official loot area. The chests, and see what we unlock there. Presumably, that's where the good stuff is. Yeah, like, that's where we fought some of those last drowners that dealt all the damage to us. There were a few that we just picked off with crossbow bolts from far when we were up on that cliff up there. These are the chests that I was referring to. Whoa! Some of these things look pretty good. We'll investigate further in just a second here. But my first impression is that that could very well have been very much worthwhile. Found a new chest plate. How does it... It has 24 more armor than our current chest plate? Maybe that's why we were taking so much damage. Our armor is bad. And this one is way better. Okay. This is new. This is a pair of gloves. One more armor, obviously. An upgrade, yes, but not as dramatic of an upgrade. Okay, and then we saw some other new things as well. Someone dropped a dumpling. I forget where we found. That might have been in that little mini town area. Let's see, got some more coins. Sure, that's cool. More wolf hide, more leather pelts. These are all things that we're just gonna end up selling in town in all likelihood. Is anything actually good? Got some crafting recipes and perhaps some crafting materials. So that definitely sounded like a good thing. Iron ore, got some of that, leather scraps, linen. That not so much. Looking for mostly the actual crafting recipes, which may mean that we need to go to this alchemy tab to see what is now available to us. I think this one? We might have just found the crafting recipe for this one. Potion of the damage dealt by... A portion of the damage dealt by enemies is reflected back to the attacker. That does sound good. We do not currently have the materials necessary to craft it. So, perhaps something to bear in mind, but not usable just yet. Oh, could craft this explosive door. Why not? I suppose. Seemed like it was pretty simple crafting materials. Oh, what is this? Like honey? Clears toxicity. It cancels all active potion effects. Sure. Let's do that too. Okay. Oh. Leshin or Lesher decoction. There's our answer. Is that the one we were just looking at? It is this one. Yeah, that is the one we were looking at. The damage, reflection, and one of the oils, I think. Oh, cursed oil. Apply to the sword for additional effects in combat. Damage versus first ones? I don't think I know exactly what a quote-unquote cursed one is. We have actually lots of oils we can make. Hold on. This is looking like, with all these crafting materials, we have an abundance. So why not? Not even like we're close to running out of any of these things, so sure. Okay. So, let's see. Applying oils to your swords increases the damage it deals to a certain type of opponent. Yep, and we can activate that in our inventory. So I don't know what type of opponent we're really anticipating to fight at this point in time, so I'm not going to do that just yet. But I think that was definitely worthwhile based on the armor upgrade at the very least that we picked up. If not, because of the crafting materials that we got as well. So, yeah. Sure, we were dancing with death a little bit. That may be. Sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit, right? Okay. Whoa! So that means there are some enemies over here. I'm assuming they're either wolves or ghouls, but can't tell from this distance. They're making kind of wolf-like sounds. I feel like maybe it is worth saving after clearing out that surprisingly dangerous area. And perhaps tempting our fate a little bit here by approaching what looks to be 5 enemies of whatever variety this is. Yeah, they are ghouls. Hold on a second. Let's check the map. Yeah, there was a monster nest over here. I do wonder if perhaps that's what we're starting to approach. It's not the direction we're facing. Did we turn our back to them, though? Yeah. This might be the monster nest. I don't know. I was kind of expecting more unusual types of monsters than just ghouls. No, that looks like a nest to me, though. Yep, and there's the indicator on the minimap. So yeah, there are a lot of them. We could perhaps isolate some of them, or, you know, maybe provoke some of them. Might have hit one. Kind of just firing blindly in here. A lot over here. Thought I saw the number next to them says 2. Means they're level 2. I think they're comparatively, theoretically, weaker, significantly weaker than the enemies that we were fighting before, the drowners. Get over here. And one down. No, Geralt, I would prefer, in fact, greatly prefer, perhaps you continued to draw your sword. Who's next? Oh, there might be 2 of them, at least, coming for us right now. Yeah, bring it on. Bring it on, buddy. Yeah, I'll hit you with the crossbow bolt while I'm at it. And you missed. That time you didn't, though. And that hurt. Let's do a little bit of a tactical retreat here. And perhaps take stock. I believe there are 2 left. Now, granted, we did use, like, all of our life-restoring stuff when we fought those drowners, so I will use our only remaining apple. I think there are 3 left, unfortunately. Do still deal so much damage. Wish we just had a little more life or a little more defenses. Okay, I have attracted their attention. Startled myself there. You may not have been able to tell, but I jumped out of my seat a little bit at the sound effect of the crossbow. Don't ask me why. I should have known. I was the one that pressed the button. And yet, I was surprised. Now, we could potentially try to snipe them from above here. I don't know if this is steep enough of an incline to prevent them from approaching us. Like, is this actually a safe sniper nest, or is it not that? Because it might not be that. This definitely isn't. And that is definitely going to miss. Now, like, just based on how far up this way this guy's going, that suggests to me that this is not, in fact, a cliff. But that did seem like a chance to isolate one of them, which I would have liked to have done, so that we could perhaps actually clear out this area. Would like to do that. But fighting 3 simultaneously, based on how much damage they were dealing before, seems like an objectively terrible idea. Which is why I would like to either whittle down some HP on one of them, or several of them, the crossbow, or make it so that we're just fighting one at a time. It really looks like we should be hitting them from here, and yet we are not. It's a little confusing. This one is a little bit by itself. And the camera was not really doing us any favors there. Or there. Ooh, that did still hit us. As did that. As did that. So that was potentially, if we had actually executed properly, a way in which to get something done there. Was, of course, fighting two simultaneously rather than just one. Okay, and also the camera, also our life right now. Okay. Cutting it close. And using, I guess we had some other sources of food. So right now we're currently restoring HP using raw meat. So, yeah, you know. Or Witcher. We'll be fine. This should not be this difficult. But it is. We're not exactly executing very well. Alright, that crossbow bolt may or may not have attracted that ghoul's attention. It is running a little bit all over the place. I feel like that might be, more than anything, the real use case. The crossbow is to provoke enemies rather than use it to directly deal damage. Because it does deal, like, somewhere between a fifth and a tenth of the damage we deal with the sword. So the chances of that being significant damage, pretty low. Unless you can do what we were doing with some of those drowners and chain together several shots in quick succession, which is easier said than done. Ow. One down. We actually appear to have inflicted bleeding on this school here, because it's looks like it was taking some damage over time. I think that might be the first time we've done that. Or at least the first time I've noticed us doing that. Okay, this guy is by himself. I would like to fight him. But he is doing silly things to trees. Making it more difficult for us to actually single them out. Okay. Yes, I did just walk, straight into those guys. I feel like they might have actually been healing. Those number signs were green. Which, usually is an indication of either poison or healing. I accidentally double healed there, but so be it. So like there, is that healing? Is that not healing? I don't actually know. Now. Being more aggressive now because there we go. Now they're all gone. They're all gone. Okay. That should have been far easier than it actually was, but they're down now. And was that actually worthwhile? I have not the faintest of ideas. Maybe we can figure it out now, though. Because...
Ghoul nest. Ought to just destroy it.
Okay, monster nest. To destroy a monster nest, you need a grape shot, salmon, or dancing star ball. Okay, we did just craft one of these. Very recently, in fact. I don't know if we're going to get swarmed by additional ghouls when we try doing this, or not. We did just fight a bunch of them, obviously, so I'm kind of hoping not. Okay, got a little bit of experience from it. I don't know. It seemed like those drowners were more worthwhile than those ghouls. What I can tell. Is there anything else that we ought to be making sure that we check out in this direction? Actually, a lot of territory to cover. Let's perhaps Ball Roach. Really? Really, Roach? Did you have to go up the cliff?
Come on, Roach.
My thoughts exactly.